was moving like a
Hello YouTube, this is OediTrades with another video coming to you on the 29th of June 2025. In this particular video, what we're going to be doing is going over preparations for the week ahead, for the week of 30 June 2025. Next week is going to be a shorting week. In order to get prepare for it, I think there are some key things we need to be aware of. One is that it is the end of the month. The month of June is ending, and a new month of July will be beginning. Also, it is the end of the second quarter, going into the third quarter of 2025. So there's a lot of things to be aware of. Before we can get ready to trade for the next week. So the primary focus of this channel is ES futures. Sometimes I go into NQ and even gold, but for this particular video, I will be focusing on ES. Last week, we saw the market rally quite a bit. Actually, it's been rallying for quite a while now. I think one of the biggest things from this particular rally was that after the conflict between U.S. and Iran, there was a lot of belief that the market was going to sell off, and the market actually did the exact opposite. It continued to go up, continued to rally. So one of the things you got to keep that in mind. The market has not shown any fear here lately. It's just continued to go up. So one of the things that I like to do before I get ready for a new week is I like to look at the SPY and QQQ. As you can see, the market rally is very, very strong here. We have penetrated the upper Bollinger Band here, and in my experience, usually when you see that, it typically rubber bands back into the Bollinger Band and eventually goes down to the lower one. But that has so far not happened. Friday actually thought that maybe it was going to be the beginning of it. The market kind of stalled out and started to sell off a little bit, fueled by some news regarding the United States and Canada and tariffs. But the market quickly rebounded. Right here, the market rebounded. A couple of things that I wasn't aware of until after the market had closed, but that rebound was actually at a couple of confluence levels here. There was a fair value gap, a 4 hour fair value gap here, that the market bounced off of. And also, there was a golden zone here at the same time. Fibonacci retracements show that this was around the 618 and 5 in the 50% retracement level. So what does that mean? It means that the algos are still set up to push the market higher, and the market rebounded quite a bit, and it actually stalled out, I believe, at the 786 level on the opposite end of that Fibonacci retracement. So we'll discuss that a little bit here today. Once again, let's go back. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth here. This is my first video doing this, so I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. But one of the things, like I said, I like to look at the SPY and QQQ to kind of get a feel for where the market is and where it's possibly going. I like to draw out the previous day highs and previous day lows to show what the market was doing in the previous day. Uh, what I expect due to, like I said, the markets continue to rally is the market to continue to go up. One of the things that you can look for to either validate or that thesis or validate my thesis is that if the market continues to hold the 5 simple moving average and the 20 simple moving averages, that's what I typically use to kind of it's like a traffic cop for me. And I'll actually do a video, separate video for that, explaining how I use that 5 and 20 simple moving average. But basically, the 5 and the 20 is what I use to kind of get a feel for where the market is in terms of bullish or bearish bias. Um, if the market continues to gap up and continue to go up, then of course we're going to be looking for continuation to the upside. If the market comes down and goes underneath the 5 and or the 20, then that could mean that the market turn. Um, so that's one of the biggest things I'm going to be looking for next week is how the SPY and QQQ interacts with the 5 and 20 day simple moving averages. I'm expecting them to hold. I'm expecting them to act as support for the current market rally. However, if SPY and QQQ goes against those, then one or two things I can expect. One is a little bit of a sell off, a slight, probably not a large one, but kind of a smaller sell off, as well as some consolidation, perhaps. There's a shorter week. We could see a inside day of SPY and or QQQ, or continuation to the upside, or penetration of the previous day low, losing either the 5 and or the 20 simple moving average, um, based upon um, uh, the current momentum of the market. One of the other things that we can look at is the economic news for next week. The big thing I believe is going to be the JOLTS job openings. That is going to more inflationary data. For the rate cuts decision. I believe they're looking for possibly for some rate cuts in December. Excuse me, not December. That's way too off. September, I meant. Um, that could have a very very strong effect of the market on Tuesday, July 1st. Now on payroll, there's another big one. Um, and since next week is a shortened week, so now employment change is actually going to be on Thursday and not Friday because Friday is the 4th of July here in the United States. So um, next week is going, I think, going to be very volatile. It's going to be bouncing back and forth. I think being outside the outer Bollinger Bands could help push it market back in a little bit. We shall see though. You try not to call the market. You just respond to what it does as a trader, as a day trader. Another big thing that I'm interested in, one of the things I think is probably fueling this market rally is the tax cuts and the bill that's currently in the Senate. That cleared a little bit of a hurdle, a small hurdle here this weekend. So anticipation of that with a market, anticipation of that passing, continue to fuel this market. We shall see with that as well. Let's go into a little bit of the ES here. I'm actually looking at MES, but the same thing applies to ES, I believe. The market, like I said, there was a little bit of a pause here around the 6240 level. Um, if you saw my other video in regards to the last Friday's, the 27th of June's uh, review of the market, that's basically where the market came to rest and kind of started to sell off a little bit. But, and then, like I said, there was some economic news, and then it penetrated this trend line, which was very, very interesting. My first reaction when I saw that was this a end of the uptrend and the beginning of a reversal in the market? Um, uh, that was, like I said, my first reaction when I saw it. But when I saw the response and how that market rebounded that quickly, it's hard to say. But like I said, the market's giving some big clues right here in terms of possibly where it's going or what's next. And that's kind of like the whole point of this video is kind of trying to see what the market could possibly do so we can be on the right side of the trade next week. There's a couple of there's a bullish and a bearish thesis if the market continues to rally. Um, it, like I said, there's one of the things I've been looking at is there it's going to be looking at some of these psychological levels like 6250, 6260, 6270, and see how it interacts with those particular levels, or is it going to blow through those, or is it going to kind of like hesitate and consolidate around those areas? That's some of the things I'm going to be looking for next week, as well as if it comes back down and penetrates this trend line again. Could it come back down and create possibly a double bottom down here at the previous day low, or could it go even lower? So those are some of the things that I'm looking for. Hopefully, uh, it helps. Um, my analysis helps any other trader that's currently looking at what to expect on the week ahead. One of the things I'll be doing next week as well is following up on this video to see where we were right at and where we was wrong at. So hopefully this video helps. If it does, please like and subscribe, and be looking for more videos. Like I said, I want to do a video for how I use the 5 and 20 SMA in my trading and in my thesis, gathering information. As well, I have some more videos I would like to put out there for some educational purposes um, for the channel. Hopefully, you have a good week ahead in trading and a good and profitable one. Have a good one. Talk to you later.